It's hard to imagine this is how 2020 started. But across the world, dozens were falling ill with a mysterious virus that would ultimately change life as we know it.
Last time we spoke, you said things were getting better. How is it today?
Hi, Katy. Yeah, it's way worse now. It's like you could almost have predicted it.
Cardiac arrest patients, paramedics were told not to bring them to the hospital if they couldn't revive them. There just wasn't any space to try and help them in the hospital. Are you worried about a similar sort of thing happening in Indiana?
I'm worried about that similar thing happening everywhere. We've gotten to watch these cities burn kind of one by one.
We are here today.
Hospital heads from Ascension St. Vincent, Community Health Network, Eskenazi Health, Franciscan Health, IU Health, and more came together today to address the current state of the pandemic in central Indiana.
We spent much of the day inside of a spillover room here at Reed Hospital. It's a room that once held events like banquets, fundraisers, and auctions, and now you see rows and rows of medical beds, and doctors say that they're expecting to start filling this room with patients any day now as the numbers in Indiana continue to soar.
Beds, ventilators, and other support systems are being stressed to their limits. IU Health has over 1,100 employees on quarantine alone, many working extra shifts to fill the need.
Nationwide, 90 kids and teens have now died from COVID-19. But public health experts generally agree we need to get kids back to school.
Today, parents, students, and teachers in dozens of cities plan to take part in a so-called National Day of Resistance. They are demanding school buildings only reopen when science says it's safe. Over the weekend, parents in Georgia protested on the opposite side. They demanded face-to-face classes for their children.
You're packing 300 kids, almost 300 kids into a school. How is that following the guidelines that everyone has put out?
At Notre Dame in Indiana, 336 confirmed COVID cases were reported, leading to a plea in the student newspaper. Don't make us write obituaries.
The government has embarked on its most ambitious vaccination program. It is the only way back to normality and to secure a future without lockdown.
The vaccine candidate has begun the phase 1 clinical trial. This is one of the fastest vaccine development launches in history.
This is the news that we've been waiting to hear. Pfizer and BioNTech reporting the first results from their phase 3 vaccine trial, saying that in this interim look, the vaccine showed to be more than 90% effective.
A recent study by the University of Oxford found that 12% of people would not be vaccinated, with a further 16% saying they are hesitant.
This has made them to distrust the government, and especially because of the way it's been rolled out. And there's something, dodgy about it.
Vaccine hesitancy is really underestimated and very dangerous in this respect because we have these growing conspiracy theories, we have alternative facts and information. People don't know where to turn. And
honest.
We live our lives taking each second for granted.
But what would you do if you knew how much time you had left?
Unus annus.
1 year.
What are you doing?
Oh, steak.
Take that, Satnap, steak for you. I got one. Literally, don't let him out. Just keep him in there for a little bit. Oh no, I don't have enough wood. Wait! Oh my goodness, let's mine this tree down.
Oh, and then the leaves are gonna break. Yes, yeah, get the tree, get the tree.
Break it. This is literally it. The leaves will break, and then he'll die. Guys, he literally just jumped.
What? Get him, get him! Go, George. Yes! No! He's on the trees, he's on the trees.
He's so dead.
Wait, what? Yes, the water.
No! No! No!
Yes! Are you joking?
Did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary.
Now to President Trump's threat to ban TikTok.
We're banning them from the United States.
Overnight, TikTokers reacting, including big stars who earn a living from monetizing the platform.
It has really fired up young people. Even just overnight, I've heard so many young people tell me, I'm going to vote in this election.
Try to get a kill here. I went to do the thing with Wade.
Wade's dead. Yeah. Wade's dead.
Wade's dead.
Yes. And
did you kill him?
No. Kill him? No. Maybe he might have deserved it.
Light system, Valkyrie.
I'm surprised he was able to get that. He killed in front of 2 people with the lights off.
Honest. Honest.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side.
Restraint. Hobble.
I can't breathe.
Okay.
I can't breathe.
I'll grab that. Once we get him.
Jesus Christ. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Thank you.
I can't breathe.
Stop moving.
Mama. Mama.
Yeah,
Mama.
it's in the,
Mama.
one of the front pouches.
Mama.
On my right side bag.
Mama. Mama.
You're the rest guy.
All right. All right. Oh my God.
It's not going to go to jail.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't believe this, man. Mama, I love you. Reese, I love you.
You got hobble?
Tell my kids I love them.
Grabbing it.
I'm dead.
Mine's in my side. It's listed. It's labeled.
She's I hear them. I hear them saying my daddy's name. And I told her, she doesn't know what happened. I told her that her dad died because he couldn't breathe.
Tonight, tensions are high as 4 police officers have been fired after a man was pinned to the ground and died.
The bystander's cell phone video begins with police restraining a man on a Minneapolis street Monday night. An officer is pinning the man face down by pressing his knee into the man's neck.
Minneapolis today, with its charred remnants of last night's rioting, the fury evident at every corner.
The nation erupted into scenes of chaos, violence, and widespread destruction into the early morning hours.
The situation here in Santa Monica, California is very fluid. You can see police here now firing tear gas into the crowd.
It's just after midnight on March 13th, 2020, and officers with the Louisville Metro Police Department pull into this apartment complex in Louisville, Kentucky.
She felt like 2020 was definitely going to be her year because she was able, everything went the way she wanted it to go. Being able to get her car, being able to start getting enrolled for school, being able to just get her foot out the door.
911, Operator Harris, where is your emergency?
I don't know what's happening. Somebody kicked in the door inside my girlfriend. Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor's life matters.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Black, white, brown, tall,
doesn't matter. One injustice, one place is an injustice in every place. Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Black Lives Matter! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Tonight, the FBI is stepping up its efforts to counter the shocking surge in attacks on Asian Americans. They've skyrocketed in the past year as some falsely blame Asians for the pandemic.
In New York City, police are investigating a hammer attack on an Asian woman that was caught on surveillance video. In Baltimore, a man wielding a cement block attacked two Korean women simply trying to close down their store.
This morning, police are investigating a string of deadly shootings at 3 massage parlors in and around Atlanta.
They shot up a spot there. They've shot up 2 spots here. So we need to make sure if we have any Asian spots, we need to be checking on them.
Then, about an hour later, 2 more shootings, this time in nearby Atlanta. The targets, 2 more massage parlors.
According to the group Stop Asian American Pacific Islander Hate, there have been more than 6,600 incidents from March 2020 to March 2021.
I'll never raise the white flag of surrender. We're going to beat this virus. We're going to get it under control. And the first step of beating this virus is beating Donald Trump. Tomorrow we have an opportunity to put an end to a presidency that's divided this nation. Tomorrow, we can put an end to a president that has failed to protect this nation. The power to change the country is in your hands.
My question for both of you is, based on what you have said and done so far, why should the American people trust you more than your opponent to deal with this public health crisis going forward?
200,000 dead. As you said, over 7 million infected in the United States. 40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said it is what it is. The president has no plan.
If we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. We did. We got the gowns, we got the masks, we made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators, and now we're weeks away from a vaccine.
Why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone, equality for the whole of America. When Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible.
You have treated the African American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did such a vote, such a success. The citizens of this country have come out in record numbers. This is a record. There's never been anything like it. So we won there. We lead by 76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
I had such a big lead in all these states late into election night, only to see the leads miraculously disappear. President Trump also tried to set a new clock, claiming on Twitter, legal proceedings are just now beginning.
Folks, the people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory. We've won with the most votes ever cast from presidential ticket in the history of the nation. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify.
who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States.
We are coming on the air right now with breaking news because the U.S. Capitol has been placed on lockdown as angry protesters surround the building. Extraordinary images of tens of thousands of pro-Trump supporters, all encouraged by the president.
Well, it looks now like the Capitol, the police are
Pete, let me break away from you a second. Because things are happening very quickly there on the appears to be the east side of the Capitol. People now have moved past the police and into the building.
Well, first of all, it's a shameful failure of security in an obviously threatening situation. And it's astonishing to me that the guard wasn't called up. They should have been on site in significant numbers.
People who were protesting on January 6th and then took it beyond protesting were his supporters. And we've seen this with President Trump, former President Trump, repeatedly. If people are on his side, he is.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain. When I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day.